Today I'm going to be leading you through a Hatha flow. So if you'd like to find a comfortable seated position, either cross-legged or with a bolster or a cushion, whatever way is comfortable for you, just so long as you can bring some height and length into the spine. Once you're feeling nice and comfortable in your seated position, we're just going to close down the eyes, bringing the focus to the breath. Not necessarily changing it, but becoming aware of it. Our breath is our anchor throughout the practice today. Each time our mind wanders or we feel tension or discomfort, we bring our focus back to our breath each time, allowing anything that doesn't serve us to just dispel away with our exhale, letting go of everything we no longer need. So you can leave your hands where you are, or if you'd like to, you can bring one hand up to your chest and one hand to your stomach as we begin our 3-part yogic breath. As you inhale in through the nose, fill the stomach, filling all the way to the chest. Lift the collarbones. Exhale through the nose, let the collarbones fall, the chest softens and the stomach draws into the spine. Inhale, let the belly expand, pushing the heart towards the ceiling, lifting the collarbones. Exhale, keep that breath controlled, softening the torso. Inhale, belly expands, chest pushes forward, fill all the way to the top of the lungs. Exhale through the nose. Feeling each part of your body relax as you do. Inhale, pushing the Buddha belly out, filling the heart space, lifting the collarbones. Exhaling through the nose, letting the collarbones soften, let the chest fall, and the stomach draws in. So continue for 3 breaths at your own pace, just following the rhythm of your own breath. Focusing on enhancing the quality of your breath. Can you elongate the next inhale and exhale more so than the previous? Can you focus on slowing that breath down? Bringing that focus back to the breath each and every time the mind wanders, as it naturally will. At the end of your next exhale, you can bring your hands back down to your knees, just returning to your regular breath. We'll be starting our alternate nostril breathing now, so if you do have a slight blocked nose, you can skip this out and just redo the first breathing technique that we did. Otherwise, you can gently open your eyes as I show you how we're going to take Chin Mudra with the left hand. So it looks like the OK symbol with the thumb and the index finger touching together. And we're going to place that hand upright on the left knee. With your right hand, you can take your peace fingers, either tucking them in towards the palm or placing them on the third eye on the forehead, just depending whatever feels more comfortable for your hand. We're going to start by blocking the right nostril with the right thumb, and we're going to exhale to reset. Begin inhaling in through the left nostril. Block the left and exhale through the right. Inhale, right nostril. Lock the right with the right thumb. Exhale through the left. That is one round. Inhale, left side. Lock the left. Exhale, right. Inhale through the right. Lock the right nostril. Exhale through the left. One more round. Inhale, left side. Lock the left nostril with the ring finger and exhale through the right. Inhale, right nostril. Lock the right, exhale through the left completely. You can release your hand back down to your knee and just return to your regular breath. Beautiful, honoring our bodies today as we move through our practice. Moving with mindfulness and care, tapping into our breath every single time we enter a new pose. You can begin to gently open your eyes now. We're going to start today's practice with an inhale, lifting the arms up above the head. You can bring your gaze in between your hands. As you exhale, bring your right hand down in line with your sit bones and take your stretch over to the right side. Inhale, turn the chest upwards. You can bring the gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale, reach through that top arm. You can walk your hand out a little bit further if you can get deeper into this pose. But this is just our warm-up, so you don't need to come too far into this at the moment. Close down your eyes if you'd like to and connect the breath. Inhaling into the side of the body. And exhaling to extend. 2 more breaths here. Reach through the left arm to keep the activation. Wonderful. With the next inhale, push with the right arm, bringing it above the head. And exhale, left hand comes down this time in line with the sit bones. Exhaling, reaching over to the left side now. Closing down your eyes if you'd like to. Inhale, turn the chest upwards. Exhaling, reaching through that top arm. Again, you can walk this bottom hand out a little bit further just so that you can get deeper into the stretch. Close down your eyes if it's comfortable and just settle in. One more breath. Beautiful. Inhale, bring the arms above the head. As we exhale, we're going to twist over to the right, bringing the left hand to the right knee. Just gently bring your right arm behind you, and as you inhale, you're going to push through the arms, lengthening the spine as much as you can, and exhaling over to the right side. Each time you inhale, you can create some length in the spine. And using your exhale to deepen the posture. Wonderful. Just bringing your focus to your breath. One more. With your next inhale, pick up the arms. Exhaling as you twist to the opposite side this time. Bring your left arm behind you and inhale, push through, lengthening to the crown of the head. Exhale, twisting over to the left. Closing down your eyes if it feels comfortable. Turning your awareness inwards. Wonderful. With your next inhale, you're going to lift up the arms. And as you exhale, you're going to hinge and reach forward, coming into a seated forward fold. So you can come as far down onto the forearms. Staying here and maybe placing a block underneath the forehead if it's comfortable. Otherwise, you can take another inhale to lengthen. And exhale, reaching all the way forward, bringing your forehead to the mat. Staying for 3 breaths. Last one. You can begin to walk the hands in towards the body. Sitting up nice and tall again. Now we're going to change the cross of our legs, so we're bringing the opposite foot in towards the body. Sit yourself nice and tall again. Begin your inhale, lifting the arms. Exhale to hinge the hips, reaching forward, either coming down onto the forearms or just extending all the way forward and bringing your forehead down to the mat. Settling in for 3 breaths again. You can begin to walk your hands towards you, sitting up nice and tall. This time we're going to bring our hands behind us with the fingertips pointing forwards so that we can just lean back just nice and comfortably into the arms. On your inhale, you're going to push your chest forward, squeezing the shoulder blades. Keep your neck in line with the spine. Exhale through the nose. With your next inhale, you have the option to come up onto the knees, pushing the hips forward. Breathing into the hips and the chest. And exhaling through the nose. One more breath. Breathe into the entire front of the body. And as you exhale, you can very gently lower yourself back down. Wonderful. Bring your hands onto the floor in front of you now and bring yourself into a tabletop position. So here we want to have our wrists underneath our shoulders and we want to have our knees underneath our hips so that we have a nice supported bone stacking structure. On our inhale, we're going to drop down into cow, dropping the belly in the chest, lifting the gaze, squeezing the shoulders. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, push through the arms and release the neck. Inhale, tailbone untucks, dropping all the way down, lifting push through, release the neck. Inhale, coming back down into cow, lifting the gaze last. Exhale, push through the arms, pushing the floor away from us, hanging the neck. One more time, inhale, coming all the way down into cow. And exhale, push through the arms to cat. Beautiful, come back to a neutral tabletop position. With our next inhale, we're going to extend our right leg back, keeping the toes pointed towards the floor. Exhale, bring the knee into the center. Inhale, take that leg out. Option to take the left hand out as well for an extra challenge. Exhale, bring the elbow to the knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to center. Inhale, reaching through, push through the sole of the foot. Exhale to center. Inhale, reach. And this time as you exhale, you can bring your left hand down. And we're going to take our right foot out to the side so that it's in line with the left knee. With our next inhale, we're going to come all the way up. Exhale as you bring your right hand down to the thigh and taking that lateral stretch over to the side. We're just going to stay for 2 breaths. Inhaling to create space in the heart. Exhaling to slightly intensify. One more breath. Inhale, bring your arms back up above you. And exhale, bring them back down to the floor. With your next inhale, you're going to pick up your right leg, taking it all the way over to the left side of the left leg as you exhale and push the ball of the foot into the floor. With your next inhale, lengthen the body, lifting the gaze. Exhale, turning over to the left, gazing at the right foot. Staying for 2 breaths here. One more. Wonderful. Inhale, lift the leg, face the front. Exhale, bring your knees back down. If at any point you begin to get a little bit sore in the wrists, you can just come back and give yourself a little wrist circle just to help release the joints. I promise we won't be here too much longer. We'll move into a next sequence soon. So with your next inhale, this time we're lengthening the left leg out. Keep the toes pointed towards the floor. Exhale, bring the knee to center. Inhale, push through the left leg. Option to take the right hand out. Bring the gaze towards it. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen, looking forward. Exhale to center. Inhale, lengthen, toes pointed to the floor. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. This time you bring your right hand down. And exhale as you bring your left foot out to the side, keeping it in line with the right knee. Just like before, we're going to inhale and come up. Exhale as the left hand comes down to the left leg and we take a stretch over to the left side. Try to do your best to keep your chest open and turned towards the ceiling, just so that as we stretch, we're not closing over it. We're really creating space in the body. One more breath here. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. Use your next inhale to pick up the left leg, taking it all the way to the right side of the right leg now as you exhale and push the ball of the foot into the floor. You can readjust your hands if you need to, making sure the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen and look forward. Exhale, gazing over to the right and looking at the left foot. Staying for 2 breaths. Wonderful. Inhale, lift the leg, look to the front. Exhale, return to tabletop. We're going to bring the left hand into the center of the mat now. And as we inhale, we're going to open up to the right side of the room. You can bring your gaze to your hand. Exhale, thread the needle, coming down onto the right shoulder and the right side of the face. You can leave your hand here if you'd like to. Otherwise, you have the option to take it above the head or behind the back, and maybe seeing if you can get it into that hip crease. Connect to the breath and close down the eyes. Just staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. Beautiful. One more. Inhaling into the stomach, filling the chest. Exhaling through the nose. Bring your left hand back to the side of your face. Inhale, push through, open up to the right side of the room. Exhale, back down to tabletop. Bring your right hand into the center of the mat this time. Inhale, open up to the left, following the left hand. Exhale, thread the needle coming down onto the left shoulder and the left side of the face. Just like before, you can leave the hand here. Otherwise, your options are to take it up above the head or behind the back and into that left hip crease again. Connect to the breath. And just closing down the eyes if it feels comfortable for you. Beautiful. You can begin to release the bind of the right hand if you have it, taking it to the right side of the face again. Inhale, push through the right arm, open up to the left side of the room. Exhale, back to tabletop. We're going to bring ourselves a little bit further down the mat here, just so that as we begin to walk our hands forwards, we can use the space to come into puppy pose. Just extend the arms and bring your forehead down to the mat as you exhale. If you feel comfortable getting deeper into this pose, you can begin to walk the hands a little bit further forward. Each time you exhale, very gently pushing your chest towards the floor. Inhale, filling the chest and the heart space. Exhale as you deepen the posture. If you can come down onto the chin and the chest. And you can come onto the fingertips to get that extra activation in the shoulders. Close down your eyes. Even in these poses where it becomes a little bit more difficult to get into a deep breath, you really want to try to breathe into the belly and the chest still. One more breath. As you move out of this pose, you can either walk your hands back in towards your body or just come onto the forearms and you can bring yourself back to the center and into tabletop again. From here, you're going to take a nice big inhale in through the nose. Tuck your toes and exhale, send your hips upwards and backwards, coming into our first downward dog. So you can come straight into your downward dog alignment here if you'd like to, or if you want to begin to work through the hamstrings, pushing one heel to the floor at a time, and you can use your breath to work in this way. Otherwise, just taking your alignment, spreading your fingers, turn your shoulders outwards, away from the ears, and just relaxing the head, bringing your gaze either to your navel or to the back of the room. Just let that head hang heavy as you connect to the breath. Wonderful. Keep your breath nice and strong. One more. Bring your gaze up towards your hands and you can begin to make some baby steps towards them. Just gradually making your way into a standing forward fold, just anywhere on the mat. For this first one, give yourself a really generous bend in the knees. Let your torso touch your thighs. Grab your opposing upper arms and release your upper body, lengthening through the backs of the legs. Connect to the breath. And from here, you can maybe gently sway from left to right. You could bounce the upper body just a little bit. Just making any little movements that feel good for you. Just letting gravity do all the work for us here as we elongate the spine. And each time you exhale, you can very gently lengthen one leg out at a time. Wonderful. Wherever you're at, we're going to stay for 2 more breaths. Release your hands to the floor and give yourself a generous bend in the knees. As you begin an inhale, push through the soles of the feet, uncurling the spine really slowly, as slow as you can. Uncurling the vertebrae one at a time until the shoulders and the head are the last to lift. Exhaling into mountain pose, Samasthiti. Connect to your breath. Just let your shoulders and your hands drop away from the ears, lifting the chest as you inhale. Feeling the strength in your body as you exhale. Feeling nice and strong like a mountain. And just checking in with yourself here. Maybe noticing whether your weight is more favored to the left or the right side of the body. Or maybe you're feeling quite balanced. Just always checking in with yourself before and after poses, noticing the slight subtle changes that we feel. So you can bring yourself to the top of your mat now, bringing your hands to the heart center. You can keep your eyes closed here if you'd like to, otherwise you can just bring yourself to a soft focus. Inhale, lift up your arms. Exhale, hinge at the hips and come into a fold. Inhale, push on the shins for a halfway lift. And as you exhale, send the right foot back and come down into a low lunge. Inhale, come onto the fingertips and push through the arms to lengthen the spine. Hold your breath and step back to a high plank. For this first Chaturanga, you can exhale, drop the knees, chest and the chin. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, push back to downward dog. Looking up towards your hands, you're going to take an inhale, send your right foot forward again, and exhale, come down into your lunge. Inhale, lengthen through the arms, look towards the front of the room. Step forward and exhale into your forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, scoop the arms up. Exhale, hands down through the center and by the side. Inhale, scoop the arms up. Exhale, diving into a fold. Inhale, push on the shins for halfway lift. Exhale, send the left foot back, dropping down into low lunge. Inhale, lengthen through the arms, retain the breath and step back. This time you can drop your knees if you'd like to, and exhaling through this version of Chaturanga. Inhale to come up to Cobra. And exhale back to Downward Dog. Inhale, look up towards your hands, send your left foot forward. Exhale as the right knee comes down. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look towards the front of the room. Exhale as you step forward into your fold. With your next inhale, bend the knees, scoop the arms up. And exhale as you bring your hands down to the heart center and by the side. Wonderful. We're going to go a little bit faster this time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, send the right foot back, low lunge. Inhale, lengthen through the arms, retain the breath and step back. You can exhale and take a full Chaturanga this time if you'd like to. Inhale into Cobra. Exhale back to Downward Dog. Inhale, look up towards your hands, send your right foot forward. Exhale, left knee comes down. Inhale, look towards the front of the room, stepping forward as you exhale and fold. Inhale, bend the knees, scoop the arms. Exhale, hands down through the center and by the side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot comes back, low lunge. Inhale, lengthen through the arms, retain the breath. Step back to high plank and exhale through Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, back to Downward Dog. Inhale, look up towards your hands, send the left foot forward. Exhale, right knee down. Inhale, lengthen through the arms, look towards the front of the room. Step forward and exhale into your fold. Inhale, bend the knees, scoop the arms up, root to rise. Exhale, hands down by the side. Beautiful, one more salutation. Inhale, scoop the arms up, optional back bend if you'd like to. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. From here, retain your breath and come straight back into Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra. And exhale, Downward Dog. Inhale, look up towards your hands. You can hop, step, or jump towards the front. And exhale into your fold. Inhale, bend the knees, root to rise. Exhale, hands down through the center and by the side. Give yourself one breath here. Beautiful. You're going to bring your hands out in front of you with the palms facing down. Find a drishti, your point of focus with your eyes. So something that's on your eye level and unmoving. For our challenge here, we're going to come up onto the balls of the feet as high as you can. Otherwise, you can just keep the heels a little bit lifted. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to bend the knees, coming down really slowly. Work with the breath. As you reach the bottom, you can give yourself a little hug. Coming down onto the sit bones, extending your legs out in front of you. And we're going to take a mini Shavasana for 2 to 3 breaths. Beautiful. Just allowing yourself to readjust to the floor. Just feel that energy circulating through the body after our salutations. Wonderful. So for our next pose, we're going to be preparing for shoulder stand. So one of the things that I like to do to prepare for a shoulder stand is to fold the top of my mat over. This is going to help bring me a little bit more comfort in the shoulders and the back of the neck. So what we want to do is, when we lie back down, we want the tops of our shoulders to be in line with the top of the mat. Granted, wearing a necklace probably isn't going to make this easy, and your hair can also get in the way, so make sure you've got no obstructions as you bring yourself down in line with the mat. You can bring your arms down to the side to start with. And before we come into our shoulder stand, we're going to come into plow pose. So lifting your legs, you're going to just push through the arms and bring yourself all the way back as far as you can go. You can place maybe a block or a chair behind you if your feet can't quite touch the floor. I'll just bring myself a little bit further down here. So as you come into your plow pose, you can see if you can extend the legs, bringing your toes to the floor. If you can get a little bit further here, you can see if you can interlace the fingers, squeezing the shoulder blades together to get even deeper into the plow pose. Work with the breath, keep the chin lifted. Wonderful, really try to lengthen the spine. Beautiful. So from here, I urge you not to look left or right, as we're about to put a lot of pressure on the neck. So you're going to bring your hands to your lower back, and just one leg at a time, you can try coming up into the shoulder stand. Otherwise, if you are comfortable with it, you can come straight up. And try to do your best to bring your elbows in towards the body as much as you can. As you work in through the pose, you can bring your arms further up your back. Keep your breath going. Two more breaths here. Wonderful. You're going to lower yourself back down into a plow pose, nice and gently. Bring your hands down by your side, and you can just nice and slowly begin to work your way all the way back down into a mini Shavasana. Lowering your legs nice and slowly. And just let your body relax for a few moments. Take another big breath in. The best way to counter a pose is pranayama, so really breathing into the lungs here. Perfect. We can uncurl the top of the mat now. And just bring yourself back into the center and back down onto your back as we prepare for the next pose. You're going to bring your ankles underneath your knees and just bring your arms down by your side. With your next breath, we're going to transition into bridge pose, lifting the hips. And you're going to squeeze your thighs together. You might find that your knees and your legs are going to naturally come outwards, but we really want to try and keep that squeeze in towards the center of the body. Activate the breath, lifting the hips up high. If it's comfortable for you, you can interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and bring them underneath the body. Staying for 3 breaths now. Keep it nice and strong. Keep squeezing the knees together as well. This is going to help keep the activation nice and strong. With your next breath, you can come up onto the balls of the feet and just curl your spine back down to the floor nice and gently. Bringing the knees into the chest if you'd like to. And a big breath to counter the pose. One more. Bring your feet back down. And we're going to come into another round of bridge pose, but this time with the option to come into the full wheel. You don't have to do this, you can just stay in the bridge pose for the 3 to 5 breaths that we're going to be here. So we'll all start together by coming into bridge pose in any variation that you'd like. If you're coming into the wheel pose, you're going to bring your hands to the side of your ears, and you want to try to keep your elbows in towards the body as opposed to letting them come out. Work with the breath here, so prepare with an inhale. And as you exhale, you can come onto the crown of the head first, just to see if this is comfortable. Otherwise, with your next breath, inhale, and as you exhale, push through the arms and begin to push the chest forward. Whether you're in the bridge pose or the wheel pose, you're going to stay for 3 breaths. Last one. You can lift the heels off the floor and begin to lower yourself down nice and gently. Coming down onto the back and bringing the knees in towards the body. And take a big counter breath. One more time. Beautiful. You can bring your feet back down to the floor. Perfect. So what we're going to do from here is bring our hips over to the right side of the mat, and we're going to let our knees fall to the left. You can bring your arms out nice and wide if you would like to. And you can just stay here in this beginning position if you'd like. Otherwise, if you're beginning to modify, you can take your right leg further over the left. Try to keep your shoulders towards the floor as much as you can. And if you want to go for a bind, you can see if you can catch your left foot with your right hand and just bring your left hand down to your right leg. You don't have to come this far, you can just stay in that starting position, maybe with a cushion in between the legs or underneath the knees. Just bringing that gaze over the right shoulder and closing down the eyes for the next 3 breaths. One more. Just beginning to release the bind of the hands if you have them. Draw the legs back in towards the body. This time we're taking our hips over to the left side, letting the knees fall to the right, bringing the arms out nice and wide to start with. And you can stay here or begin to make your way into a deeper expression of the pose. Just like before, you can take your leg further over the bottom one and coming into that bind with the hands. Bring your gaze over your left shoulder. Close down your eyes and settling in for 3 breaths. Last one. Releasing the hands from the body. You can bring yourself back into the center line of the mat, bringing your hips into the center. From here, we're going to bring our feet together and bring our hands to the outsides of them, making sure our back is nice and firmly on the floor. One leg at a time, you can begin to come up into a happy baby pose. This is a nice gentle way to start off with if maybe your hips still feel a little bit tight. Otherwise, if you're quite happy to come into this pose, you can just come into a full expression. The pun was not intended. Connect to the breath. Bring the tops of your thighs to the outside of your body. So as you gently pull with the legs, or pull with the hands, you're intensifying the stretch in the hips. Keep your feet parallel with the ceiling. Staying for 2 more breaths. Moving out of the baby pose nice and gently. bring the soles of your feet to touch and bring your legs down to the floor as we come into a reclined butterfly pose. If you want to intensify this stretch, you can bring your feet closer towards your pelvis. Otherwise, if this is too much, you can just push your feet further down the mat. Your hands can either be resting on your torso, you can let the backs of your hands rest gently on the floor, or my favorite is to take them above the head into a little diamond shape. This gives you a little bit of space in the chest and the shoulders. So you can just begin to lie back, enjoying this pose. Either laying as you are, or maybe bringing a slight bouncing motion into the legs and the hips. Keep breathing. Staying for 3 more breaths here. Last breath. So if there are elements of this pose that you're enjoying, you can maybe keep the shape of the legs, the shape of the arms as you take your Shavasana. Otherwise, when you're ready, you can begin to lengthen your legs out to the corners of the mat. Just letting them roll naturally outwards. Bringing your hands down to the torso, or letting the backs of the hands touch the floor with the fingers gently curling in towards the palms. Maybe grabbing anything that you need in the next few moments to get nice and comfortable, whether that be a pillow under the head or under the knees, or a blanket to get nice and comfortable. Just give yourself a moment. So lying in your Shavasana shape, we're going to do one final check-in with the body. Bring your attention down to your lower body. Is there anything here that you're still holding on to? Can you bring an extra softness to the muscles? Can you soften the feet? And just let the muscles spread and melt onto the mat as you exhale, feeling the weight of the body. Bring your focus to your torso, your shoulders and your arms and your hands. Can you bring an extra lightness into the fingers? Just letting go of the shoulders, letting go of the muscles. Bring your focus up to your head, feeling the weight of your head pressing against the mat. Feel that softness as you release the lines of the forehead, and bringing a softness into your brow bone, unclenching and releasing the jaw, releasing your tongue from the roof of your mouth, and finding a softness in your eyelids. Bringing that focus to your breath as your exhale guides you deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation in your Shavasana. can begin to bring some movement into the fingers and the toes, reconnecting to your physical body. Inhaling to lift the arms above the head, lifting the corners of the mouth. Take a full body stretch. And just exhaling through the mouth as you relax your arms. Keeping your eyes closed if you'd like to, you can begin to roll onto your left or your right side. And when you're ready, just gently pushing yourself up into a seated position for the last time to close the practice. Wonderful. We're going to do a quick exhale through the mouth, getting rid of all the stagnant air. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. Audible exhale. Let the tongue out as well. Even deeper inhale. Really let it go. Exhale to Om if you'd like to join. Bring your hands to the heart center, sealing in our practice, feeling gratitude for our health in our bodies and our lives. The light within me acknowledges the light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking the time to practice with me. I really hope you enjoyed this Hatha flow, and I really look forward to having you in one of my classes again. Thank you.